What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Game of Thrones card game 2nd edition tournament video for you, brought to you by these people that support the channel at patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. If you'd like to donate and support the channel and help make these videos happen, you can click the link in the description below the video. In this one we have Brad playing Tyrell Wars to come against Simon playing Martell Kings of Winter. Yeah, that's right, I said Martell Kings of Winter. So we've already seen Brad in this series. If you haven't seen him play already, I think in the last video, you can check out the playlist at Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube. First setup here, we got Garth the Gross, Ellery Tyrell, and a Great Hall. On the other side, we have two of those Martell locations that give the +1 gold and +1 reserve. I do not remember the name of them off the top of my head. We got a Rose Road and a Bastard of God's Grace.
I don't know. You might laugh at me when I do this. You gotta buy? You're right, unlucky enough to get Scott. Oh, what a scrub.
Like, why would you put the mirror on the great zone? The facts are what they are, man. Ready?
One card away.
There's Summer Seaports. Just had to look them up there. Summer Seaports, +1 income, +1 reserve. So we got Doran's Behest flipped on the Martell side, surprise. And on the other side we got a Noble Cause, so they're flipping here for initiative.
I guess I'll go first. Okay.
And the Martell player wins the flip, chooses himself to go first. And now he gets to decide which plot he wants to flip into. And he's going to flip Naval, yes! This is what I like to see. When I saw Doran's Behest, that's the first card that came to mind, was nice, safe Navals. And I remember mentioning it to some buddies I play with, and they were like, nah, it's okay, but they weren't running it. Didn't seem like a thing, but here we got Simon. He's always doing things different, trying different cards in his decks, and yeah, I'm not surprised to see him playing it, actually. I think that's a pretty good call. I like it. So Tyrell player is going to have only the Great Hall to work with, and if he plays another limited, but he's getting no gold off of his plot. At least his plot gives him a reduction on a Lord or Lady, so maybe that can help him get something into play. So we got a Rose Road for a limited on the Martell side. And yeah, non-limited economy doing some work here. Actually getting the Martell player 5 gold off a naval turn. Remember when that was impossible? Now we got non-limited economy. If you can set up a bunch of them. Yeah, naval's not so bad anymore. Especially when you can decide if you want to flip it. And we got Dark Star here. Not sure exactly. That's the one I believe from the box. Let's find out what he does. So that Dark Star has Intimidate, and has the action during a challenge in which Dark Star is attacking, sacrifice him to return each participating character to its owner's hand. So that's kind of dirty. So the Tyrell player didn't marshal anything. Got a military challenge coming in from Dark Star. That goes unopposed, kills Garth the Gross, intimidates Ellery Tyrell. And an entry challenge with a little Bastard of God's Grace, and that's going to go unopposed. Wow, hitting a mace. That is the hit. Holy, wow. So that choke off the naval superiority really hurting here, the Tyrell player. And nobody gets dominance, it looks like. Martell player has 2 power to 0. And Kings of Winter making the reserve even lower on the Tyrell player, so he's going to have to get rid of extra cards here. So he wasn't able to even play anything, and now he's got to discard down to 5. So he's going to fill up his discard pile quite a bit here. So I didn't think choke was really possible or not really a viable option, but we're getting schooled here. Consider this a training video that choke is possible. But he may not win still. He may not win. I mean, Tyrell They're the house that can get Econ out there and minimal cards, and then, you know, with High Tower, they're just gaining gold, drawing cards. They'll just out-resource you no matter what. But see if he can come back off this marshalling nothing on his first round. And we might have a march to the wall situation here, getting rid of Ellery, leaving no characters on the board for the Tyrell player. No, we're going to have a Wraiths in the midst into Late Summer Feast. So a big econ plot, of course, played on the Tyrell side. He's trying to recover here.
Say that I will go first. Okay.
And the Martell player winning initiative chooses himself to go first. I think he's got a card in Shadows there also. That's what that face down card is there on the front row. I missed that earlier. Or maybe the Martell player's chosen the Tyrell player to go first. Maybe I misheard. So Tyrell player is going to marshal here. And he gets the second Great Hall in play. Helps him get large Marge on the board there. And a bodyguard on her to keep her around. Flea bottom for 1. And he gets left out there. I think he's debating a milk on Darkstar here, probably. Which I think's a good choice. Very good choice. I don't know. I was thinking maybe the Bastards of Godgrace? I don't know why you do that, but I mean, maybe. Maybe. That's not a bad call either if you don't want to lose icons off of a character. So milk on Darkstar. Martell player's turn to marshal.
You have 1 gold remaining? 1 gold.
I'm really just at yeah.
Cards in hand? 1.
Only 1 card left in the Tyrell player's hand. But at least he's got a board built up now, but if he can't get draw going, this could be a problem.
5 is a lot. Let's start with 8. Let's try this.
So 8 gold to work with on the Martell side. He's debating here what's put into play. While we're waiting for him, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, hit that like button.
You know what that card is.
And also leave a comment telling Brad to stop using Star Wars mats when he plays Game of Thrones. And also leave comments about Simon not using a mat at all. I always like to bug Simon when I can, so troll away.
Okay. I will. You have a lot of good cards. Even though you managed to play things only this turn, you have a lot of goodies.
I think we see a Green Blood Trader in there. I mean, that would not be a bad start. Just draw a card, get a Green Blood Trader out on the board. Maybe that ambush card. I don't know if it's that the Archibald Yornwood one. I think he's like 5 to bring out, so maybe he doesn't want to really spend money right now. He wants to do that effect. Which I should probably look up and see what he does. Something about killing somebody. Oh, he's Shadow 4. Reaction after you lose dominance. The winning opponent must choose and kill a character he or she controls. I don't know if it's that, but Starfall is what he's going to play to remove an icon each round as a challenge action.
1, 2 for JC.
And he's going to play a JC Drummond for 2.
Oh, you're right. Actually, so
Which will help him get rid of that flea bottom.
Filthy cheater.
did you have
Flea bottom.
I had 2, so yeah, I would do
And he puts out his own flea bottom.
Sit on 2.
Power on your house card.
And Martell player is going to save 2 gold.
Sure.
And first action of the challenges phase is a flea bottom. So Scheming Septon comes into play.
I am going to sacrifice the Shadow-Seated Bastard to remove the military icon from left.
So left has no icons. Shadow City Bastard being sacked to remove his icons. There's no chance of a military challenge from the, at least that we can see, from the Tyrell player. And we have a power challenge to start here with the Scheming Septon.
That will not be opposed.
So no defenders on that.
Opposed? Any reactions to winning? Thank you.
So forced reaction off of the Late Summer Feast, drawing a card. So we get unopposed and power claim on the Tyrell side. He's up to 2 power now. 1 power on the Martell side. So he's going to trigger the Scheming Septon to get 2 gold, draw a card. See it Randall in hand. He wants to protect him from intrigue claim, I'm sure, if possible. He drew a copy of Hightower, I think, is the other card. Definitely doesn't want to lose either of those. So he's going to do an intrigue challenge for 3. And we get a forced reaction, draw, off of Late Summer Feast.
Only good cards in my hand.
And he hits Nymeria. And he'll get the unopposed power gain there.
Did you draw?
Yep.
Okay. That is it for my turn.
All right.
And over to Simon for his challenges.
A military challenge.
And he's going to come in on a military
Dark Star.
with Darkstar. So no lords or kings or whatever in play that are needed to trigger Marjorie. So we're not going to see that cycle happen. So somebody's going to die. Does he have a...
All right. Opposed.
So that'll go unopposed. Claim is left.
I'll pay 2 to bring.
So 2, we got a card coming out of Shadows. Oh, it's a Maiden of Poisons. It's not the Shadows card I thought.
I'll do a power challenge for 1.
And a power challenge, 1 strength.
I had 5, so -1 and so 1.
So the Maiden of Poisons has reaction after you lose a challenge in which Maiden of Poisons is participating. Sacrifice it to choose a participating character with fewer of the 2 challenge icons and return it to its owner's hand.
So it costs 3, so 1, 2.
So Starfall is still standing. That can send Marjorie back to hand if she were to try to block.
And I think you got dominant.
Oh, but she's, yeah. So it'll go unopposed.
It's okay.
Even though Wraiths is really choking the reserve for the Tyrell player, he's got enough. And we got JHC Droman sacking the flea bottom like I thought would happen. Seems like a decent use of it.
Breaking ties.
So breaking ties on the Martell side into trade routes on the Tyrell side, trying to get some more econ here to build up his board. He's 2 expensive cards in hand. He needs to get them out there.
I will say that I'll go first.
What was your reserve was 4?
+2.
+2. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love this card. Yep.
All right. I will trigger this 2, and then you got 6.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So 8 gold hit off trade routes. So we don't see any loyal characters yet for the Martell player to use Breaking Ties. But we know Ellery Tyrell can be hit. Randall in hand can be hit. I don't know what else he's drawn into. But either way, I think he needs to get Hightower on the board here to start getting some extra econ and card draw going. And trade routes being a summer plot's not getting hit by the Kings of Winter agenda, just like late summer feast last turn.
I'm sorry, did I say I was going first?
I thought so.
Okay, maybe I did. Whatever. I didn't even realize. No, I'm happy to go first. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
So Martell player,
7, 8.
we think chose himself to go first. We're not sure. He's not sure, but he's okay to go first. Brad thinks he heard it that way. So Martell player going first here.
Okay, 1 for Desert Scavenger.
Desert Scavenger coming in for 1. And kneeling right away, I guess. Water Garden's coming in to reduce by 3 or whatever for a Princess Pass.
I'll mail this and pay 1 for a Green Blood Trader.
So Green Blood Trader for 1 gold using the Desert Scavenger reduce.
Sure. Thank you.
Just going to get a card there, put 1 on the bottom of the deck.
No, actually, these are both really good cards. 1 second.
Bluffed out of the turn here. Sometimes to die in front of them. Pretty sure it's all
He's having a tough choice here off these Green Blood Trader cards. Said they're both great cards. Looking through his hand, trying to figure out which one to take.
I will. Okay, 1, 2 for a Bastard Daughter.
So Bastard Daughter into play for 2.
Bastard. And 1, 2 for Gas and Gray. And that's what I got.
And plays a Gas and Gray on the board to
4 cards again.
help prevent some big dudes from attacking. So there's the Hightower marshaled out straight up. That's what I thought. You need to get that out there.
Yep.
And he's going to play Randall, triggering Hightower. Draw a card, gain a gold. Looks like he's debating using a bodyguard, but realizes it's not going to save from going back to hand. So he plays a Scheming Septon. And then 2 for another Scheming Septon. And saves the gold.
Alright. Well, that's a thing. You have any pre-challenges actions? I'm going to do a military challenge with the Bastard Daughter.
So Bastard Daughter coming in on a 1 strength military challenge to start. I'm sure if Randall goes in front of it, we're going to see the Green Blood Trader sack to send Randall back to hand.
It will be unopposed.
So it sounds like no defenders.
I will. Sacrifice Green Blood Trader to return Red Charlie.
And after no defenders, Randall's going to go back to hand, sacking the Green Blood Trader off breaking ties.
Are we still in action right now?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Looks like the Tyrell player Brad here is debating an action of his own after declaring no defenders before they go to challenge resolution. But he's not going to do it. And unopposed, going to the Martell player. Claim of 1 is going to be a Scheming Septon.
Cards in hand. 2.
So he still has 1 gold, the Martell player does, so he can use Fleet Bottom to bring a Bastard of Godgrace into play and strip some icons off somebody if he wants. He could also wait depending on what happens defense-wise. He can do it on whatever characters are left standing.
I am going to. Neil Fleabottom.
That would be most of my.
And he's going to kneel Flea Bomb to bring the Green Blood Trader in. I forgot about another Breaking Ties trigger. So he spends a gold.
Or the military, so.
The Green Blood Trader and Darkstar.
So Darkstar and the Green Blood Trader coming in on a 6 strength Intrigue challenge. And he's not removing icons yet with Starfall. Maybe he's waiting to use it with like Princess Pass on the defense. Or the Maiden of Poisons. So we got a defense of 7. And he blocks the 2 loyal characters, so they can't be popped back to hand. He's trying to protect Randall in hand.
You win.
And Marjorie gains renown.
I will Neil Starfall to remove the power icon from Ellery Tyrell.
And Ellery loses her power icon. And now we have Maiden of Poisons coming in on a 1-strength power challenge and winning. So that'll go unopposed and claim.
I'm going to sacrifice the Green Blood Trader to return Darkstar to my hand.
So Darkstar going back to hand using Breaking Ties by sacking the Green Blood Trader. Interesting. Getting that milk off of him. But I might have done that after an intrigue was declared, which is interesting.
Reaction to losing. I'll kneel the Princess Pass and sacrifice it to discard her as she has no icons.
So he triggers the Princess Pass to discard Ellery Tyrell. And one of those non-limited locations discarded for claim.
Alright.
And Darkstar remains safe.
Tie for Dom. Or sorry, you have 1. Yep.
And Dominus goes to the Tyrell player, having 1 gold sitting there on his plot card.
Yep. I have my reserve is 5. I have 4 cards, so all is good with the world. I mean, not all.
Right.
Some people are still playing Martell Wars to Come. But, you know, relatively speaking.
So nothing burns like the cold, flipped on the Martell side into close call on the Tyrell side.
That's, I'll go first.
And Martell player chooses himself to go first. Going to try to get rid of that high tower. with that nothing birds like the cold, but he's going to have close call go off first. And he'll move left from the dead pile to the discard.
Sacrifice the Water Gardens.
So Water Gardens is hit by the nothing burns. And then Bodyguard and Hightower on the other side sacked for nothing burns.
I got told he's working to a giant shooter.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to pay 1. Kneel my faction card and attempt to play Secret Schemes. Yeah, that's fine.
So Secret Schemes here to draw 4 cards.
Kneel back at king. 3 as well.
See, he has Nymeria in hand now. Some extra icon removal. But does he want to play her? He's got lots of characters in hand we see there. Not sure what all of them are, but I think some Knights of the Sun maybe?
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's start with this. I'll pay 1 for Bastard Daughter.
So Bastard Otter coming in for 1 gold off the Desert Scavenger reduction.
I will spend 1, 2 on Greenblood Trader. Figure.
Now we see another Green Blood Trader coming in to draw a card.
I'll play this turn.
And gets limited out there in the Blood Orange Grove.
Kneel this. Pay 1, 2 for 3 for Knights of the Sun. We got too many little dudes, too many little girls, little boys.
So he's got Knights of the Sun out here, his first above 3-cost character for this round. And we did see first snow in the hand of the Martell player when he's picking his plots. Looks like he's got 2 plots left, so he needs to get some stuff out there that's going to stick around after the first snow.
That is going to be all for me.
Knights of the Sun have renown right now. So over to the Tyrell player for his marshalling, gets a Rose Garden on the board.
Something more dangerous we're gonna get this. I realize I'm like, oh,
And we got King Renly on the board. And a Bodyguard on Marjorie. 2 gold saved for the Tyrell player. 1 card in hand we know is Randall Tarley. 1 gold left on the Martell side, it looks like, for his flea bottom, I'm sure.
I am going to.
Yeah, I'm going to do 14 nothing here. I don't just do that for you at the moment. I can understand why you get frustrated.
I'm going to do a military challenge
had him anyway.
with these guys.
So we got a military challenge of 6 coming in. Just enough so Renly can't stop it. Does he do the Scheming Septon here to get some extra gold? Maybe top deck a Hightower Spy if he's lucky. And then he's able to play it and maybe buff the strength off of Randall Tarley. Or sorry, King Renly. Renly Baratheon.
I guess it's
Doesn't give him any plus strength?
no.
Just gives him
Or does he just kill the Scheming Septon for claim? Does he kill King Renly for claim and trigger Marjorie to get Mace into play?
Anything before challenges? No. I'll new turn. Sure. And then I'll cover. So she just
It's a very interesting game for sure. Very interesting Martell deck, that's for sure. And we got Renly blocking for 6. Prevent the unopposed.
I expected him to die.
Claim is going to be Renly. Triggering Marge.
All right.
Drown got some like fanatic.
Military challenge. Cards in hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh yeah, it's very cold. It's winter. Yeah. I was like, yeah. No, I was thinking like, oh, I threw him like, I can't. No, I can't. Oh yeah, he's there. No, I can't. You're gonna hit me if I miss that? Sure, I'll get this guy.
Wow.
And we have Sir Garland coming into play with a bestow of 2. Not the character I thought we'd see. And Renown there on the Knights of the Sun. And maybe Fears the Valor. Unless we've already seen it. Can't remember. It's been a long game. And a long day of voiceovers.
Any actions before challenges?
Once you get enough.
Cards in hand? Okay, I'm going to.
Well, I mean, you did have 2 superior claims in the first 2 turns.
So Flea Bottom, the Bastard of God's Grace.
Alright. I presume that's it.
1 card left in the Tyrell player's hand. Looks like the Martell player wants to go for it. It's going to attack for 2 with the Green Blood Trader and the Maiden of Poisons.
I'll do power. That's good.
This way he can remove the icons of the Bastard of God Grace or Starfall to then use the Maiden of Poisons to send somebody, I think, back to hand is what she does.
Power. Same. Yeah, I'll just go down. Down with 4.
Assuming he loses, but puts the Tyrell player in a tough spot here. He's going to try to block with the Scheming Septon.
No action, no reactions.
So claim is Randall goes to the discard. Unopposed blocked.
2 Dracaris and Dragon is a CF. My history file for ornaments.
I will. I will sacrifice the Shadow City Bastard to remove both of his icons.
So Shadow Sea Bastard going back to the discard pile, removing Sir Garland's icons. And Marjorie just lost her power icon from Starfall. I think he's debating the triggering, debating the trigger on the Scheming Septon.
Yeah, I'll challenge it actually.
Should be.
Marjorie has
You would have counted as big.
icon. I will just take dominance. Sure.
So Dominus goes to Tyrell player. He chooses not to do any challenges. Doesn't want to walk into a Gaston Gray. That's a smart play, I think. So not the usual Martell Wars, so we only got a couple plots left. It's not running a 10-card plot deck.
Reload.
So I think it's either... I think we see first Snow there. Is it Valar Morghulis the other one? Because if he Valors, Marjorie will be able to just cycle Garland and bring in somebody decent. I think that's why he grabbed Garland, because he knew that possibly Valar Morghulis would be coming, so he could bring in like Mace later after he's sure it's clear and safe. So yeah, it is Valar Morghulis in first Snow. We got Valor into first Snow. Oh wow. Interesting. So the Tyrell player winning initiative off first Snow. He's going to choose which plot goes, or who goes first. It's a little awkward here. Does matter. Because the Bastard Daughters hit the hand of the Tyrell player, but he only has one card. So he lets the Martell player go first. So he's going to choose Valor. And he just loses the Gates of the Moon from hand. And yep, Marjorie saved with the Bodyguard, triggering herself, of course. And there's Mace.
Total surprise.
Nobody's shocked by this. So Valor is not pinned. He still has one more plot. We know it's first Snow. So we may see Valor make a reappearance here in 2 rounds. If Mace and Marjorie aren't protected. Tyrell player only sitting at 6 power. He's still far away from winning, but I mean, Mace can really accelerate things. Let's see. But without High Tower, he's not as fast, that's for sure. Let's see what happens here. Martell player marshalling first. Got Darkstar back in play. Which was nice going first with some Intimidate.
Military challenge.
And we got an Isle of Ravens for 1. And Flea Bottom gets the dupe.
That's all I got.
And he's going to save a gold over the Tyrell player with 3 gold only to work with. But he's got the Rose Garden and the 2 Great Halls. He's going to spend 1 on the Red Wind Straits after reducing it with the Rose Garden. And what else did he top deck here?
I just realized, oh god.
You or me? Okay.
I hadn't even realized you were that close.
I guess we'll have to go first.
Yeah, Tyrell definitely not as scary when they don't have all their card draw and money gain going on with High Tower.
We got very far ahead, and I was like, man.
And choked out a little bit here by this Martell Kings of Winter deck. And he's going to play left and trigger Mace. And he's going to use Mace to send left out of play. And at the start of challenges comes into play, spends the other gold to trigger Mace. And first Snow sends left back to hand. So now the Tyrell player is sitting at 8 power. Martell player is at 7. And we got Isle of Ravens shuffling Nymeria Sand back in the deck of the Martell player.
Maybe they won't attack it. You know, the law was using Septimordain, then having
Sansa
her die off. And then, like, my Leroy Jenkins
No, Robin.
yeah, because I was gonna don't have the Care Spirit roll. He's exactly the same. You would have knelt down your dudes.
So Martell player going first on challenges here.
You would have knelt down 1
See what he's got.
Remember, that was the turn I also had Coco.
Yeah.
So I would like, even if I didn't have Dracarys, I would have just jumped him in, popped in the other guys.
No, he could do a military challenge, but we'll have another trigger off of Marge.
And then just swing back on the
I'm not sure how many lords and kings are left in the deck, but
and probably march to the next one.
I'm gonna do
Oh yeah, then you're just doing a turn of
let's
just
do
nothing.
a intrigue challenge.
it's going to do an intrigue challenge.
I'm either bluffing or I got
And no defenders. That goes unopposed. Oh, yeah. Never mind. No claim on Valor, so he wouldn't get to kill anyone on a military challenge anyway. He intimidates Marjorie Tyrell. Flea Bottom comes in.
Power icon from Mace Tyrell.
Or Flea Bottom bringing the Bastards of Godgrace in. And we have a power challenge coming in unopposed after Starfall, removing the power icon from Mace.
Remove the icons from Darkstar.
And the Bastard of Godgrace taking away Darkstar's icons in a desperation play to get her out of play. So she's loaded in there for a future Flea Bottom. Dominance going to the Tyrell player.
that was actually just enough for me to play everything I needed to play on that turn. That extra 3 gold basically got me 1 extra use out of a dragon as a slave.
So we know we're going to have first no played here by the
I think I still would have done something.
Martell player.
I wouldn't have been able, I think the last thing I just wouldn't have been able to burn him.
He was gonna die anyway.
Oh, he would have
So we got pulling the strings coming in.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I had
So first, I think I'll go first.
And Martell player winning initiative, choosing himself to go first. And he's going to trigger Doran's Behest to bring in Confiscation. So he's trying to speed through his plots, I guess, here. That's interesting. Confiscation not doing anything.
turn, is that when he popped up the Wyvern and you just were one gold short of playing him?
Yeah, so the turn I was debating on playing. I probably did that grab just the weekend. So I could have played. Somebody was played.
I will go get Darkstar.
Darkstar gets a dupe.
Oh.
So it's like
4 Nymeria Sand.
And Nymeria in play.
You don't put him in a challenge and then you draw a card off of like Bob dying, him dying.
I will be done.
Yeah.
Sit on 2 money.
So he's not going to use the Blood Orange Grove there, I guess. Doesn't care. He's going to save 2 gold, though. That's weird, not using it.
play him and don't do anything. If I just
And then you're left with 1 dude and then it's like,
at least I'll be able to chunk it, sup them.
yeah.
I was thinking, I guess. I didn't think about it.
Can he get some protection out there for his characters before Valar Morghulis might come flipping in here on the next plot?
When it comes to burn, that's the one thing I like about this deck is the consistency. And yeah, you're right, my hand is pretty well garbage.
And with first snow out there, stopping the play of left back into play there, unless he's got the dupe for him.
If you don't
So it might have stopped the Tyrell player from playing anything here,
do, then I kill
since it's pointless really to play 3 cost or less characters.
one of those other 2.
We see he's got Knight of Flowers in hand. I think left. I'm not sure what the 3rd card is.
It was scary though.
So he can play the Knight of Flowers, but if he thinks Valar Morghulis is coming, he might want to play him after that, or on the next turn.
Yeah, you too, Booger.
And have a Knight of Flowers in hand. That's one less search with Margie, but we'll see if... I don't think he doesn't have a bodyguard or a dupe for these guys, or else he would have played them. He's got Leighton Hightower in hand. So another Lord that's not in the deck searchable by Marge now. So Leighton Hightower for 2, thanks to the 2 Great Halls and the Rose Garden. He's going to spend 1 to get a power on Mace. And you can use Leighton in the next phase, I think, kneel him down to drop left into play, which could then trigger Mace again. And then he can use Mace's ability in the end of challenges, I guess, for dominance to get a character to come into play again. But he's sitting at, what's he got, 10 power? So, I mean, the Tyrell player could get there, I think. 2 more Mace triggers. Maybe Renown. Maybe Dom. That's like 4 power. Well, that's also assuming the Martell player doesn't just strip enough icons to win a power challenge.
moderate cost of oil, that'd be okay too. So it's like,
So now with Leighton out there too, that could be a lord to kill with and use with Marjorie's ability to get someone else out there. So we got the Bastards of God Grace brought in off Flea Bottom.
I will do an intrigue challenge with Darkstar.
So Darkstar coming in on the intrigue challenge for 5. It's just looking to hit the Tyrell player's hand, I'm sure, to produce options on the Valor Mergulis next round. Assuming that's what he's working towards here. I don't see why you wouldn't. Get rid of Marge, get rid of Mace. We've seen a bunch of decent characters hit the dead pile already.
I had no choice. That was my mulligan. And it was like that, one of the reasons card, and then
And the problem is he doesn't want to put anyone in front of Darkstar because he could just sack Darkstar to return each participating character to his owner's hand. But I mean, that might not be the worst play if you think Valor's coming. But then the Martell player just doesn't have to choose to play Valor next turn. He can play something different. And I mean, you don't want to really take Marge out of play. You don't want to take Mace out of play. Maybe Leighton? I don't know. It's a tough spot here for the Tyrell player, to be honest. Even though he is in the lead by 1 power.
That'll be... That'll be unopposed.
So no defenders. And on the claim, he gets left. And Mace goes down on the Intimidate. Which I don't think was the correct kneel. I think you kneel Leighton, so I can't do his ability. I could be wrong. And it sounds like Nymeria is going to remove some icons now. Or an icon.
Nymeria removal token.
And she removes the power icon off of Marjorie Tyrell.
So many of them. I'll do a power challenge with these two. Challenges action on the Sacrifice the Shadow City Bastard to remove both icons from Leighton Hightower.
So Leighton has no icons thanks to Shadow City Bastard being sacked. Which I think I was calling it something completely different earlier. I'm sorry. So an unopposed power challenge with Nymeria for 4. Unopposed and claim. Putting the Martell player at 12.
I am going to say that's that.
So over to the Tyrell player for his challenges.
I will try and...
So he's going to do an intrigue. Are we going to see Gaston Grey used here? Or are we going to leave her on the board and snap a Valor and kill her? I assume you leave her on the board.
That will not be opposed.
So no defenders.
No reaction.
No Gaston Grey, of course. And intrigue is another copy of Gaston Grey.
Taking action.
And we're going to have Mace sending Leighton out of play.
That's it for my challenge.
And the start of Dominance. Leighton coming into play. Triggering Mace to get a power.
Oh, win dominance.
Yeah, so he took his Dominance power there. Almost forgot it.
5 minutes left.
So 5 minutes left in the round we just heard called. We got 11 power. Oh, he forgot a Renown on Marge. Simon's going to let him take it.
It's just original. There's nothing.
13 power on the Tyrell side. I don't know. I feel like he could have used late in there to get an additional power somehow earlier with left, but I could be wrong. I think he... Yeah, I don't know. So we got Valor on the Tyrell side. What? What is going on here? And Doran's Behest to safely see what's going on here. And less power on the Martell side means he gets to choose who goes first. Wow. What is happening? Did not expect that. Wow. So Wraiths in the Mist is what he's going to play, since Valor's already out there. Martell player didn't need a Valor. I forgot about the Doran's Behest. Him able to just play that and check what's up before he does the Valor. That's interesting. And I assume since the Tyrell player thought Valor was coming, he would just play Valor himself. But yeah, Martell player smartly playing Doran's Behest. And all we got is Darkstar out there for characters right now.
Still alive.
So Night of Flowers coming into play. And left. No, it's right. Pretty sure it's right. So Tyrell player going first. Martell player marshalling now. This probably is the last round based on that 5-minute call a couple minutes ago. The Tyrell player only now sitting at 7 power. Makes it a far stretch with the Martell player sitting at 12. Unless they can play quick enough to get into another round here. I think the Martell player has it. But I could be wrong. An Iron Throne coming into play for the Martell player. So that's going to help him win dominance, possibly. And we got Doria's Sand with a dupe. And those House-Stain Escorts there, 2 House-Stain Escorts.
I will pass you.
And no challenges for the Tyrell player.
I will do an intrigue challenge with Dark.
And Intrigue challenge with Darkstar for 5. And that goes unopposed, getting Old Town out of hand there. And we get Intimidate on Night of Flowers, unopposed power gain. And unopposed power challenge. So congrats to Simon winning with the Martell Kings of Winter. Quite the deck, very interesting, taking out Tyrell Wars there. But yeah, that was an interesting one. I love seeing these new decks. That's cool. Good job on Simon for bringing an interesting deck. Thanks to you guys for watching. Thanks to everyone who donates to the channel. You can do so by clicking the link in the description below. Make sure you hit that like button. And tons more Thrones coming up, so stay tuned to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.